Hello, everyone. Welcome. It feels weird. It is a Saturday. It is during the day. I can see sunlight. This isn't my normal streaming time. Thank goodness we're not playing Vampire, otherwise I would be hissing at the windows. But we're staying Vampire adjacent, I guess, as we're here to play 10 wonderful episodes. Although at this rate, who knows, it could probably turn into either 2 because we TPK after the first episode, or 20 because we just, well, we just decide to keep going. It becomes a permanent campaign because we just say screw it. I'm Hedgehog. I use human pronouns. I can be found in most places at Hedgehog UK. I'll be honest, I don't really post anywhere. I tend to avoid social media like the plague nowadays. I do hang around in our Discord though, so if you want to come and chat, come join. It is a lot of fun. We have a lot of people now who post memes, and I've heard that is what people like. So if you like memes and me occasionally ranting about dice mechanics, then perfect place should be. I am going to let everyone introduce themselves, say who they are, who they're going to be playing, and anything you want to plug. We'll do it at the beginning because there's people here. By the end, we're all too tired to remember what we're doing. So we'll start with D.
Perfection. Hello. Hi. My name is D. My pronouns are they, them. I am non-binary slime, and I normally can be found on most places talking about mecha, music, and occasionally Digimon as Alphabet Sauce on Twitter and Blue Sky and stuff like that. Whenever I can be found. Or on YouTube making songs and things as Plan Stan. And I'll be playing our lovely knocker, tinkerer of sorts, Zelda.
Awesome. Let's go across. We'll go across the overlay because what I see on video versus what's on the overlay is actually different configurations, and we'll use the overlay order. So it's Porna next. If you'd like to go.
Hi, my name is Purna, and my pronouns are she, her. I can be found on the site formerly known as Twitter as Purna Writes. And those who know me know that I might write for chocolate. If you are wondering who on earth I am a chaos demon, and I occasionally appear on APs to make the lives of those who choose to have me interesting. And I do a bunch of other stuff in the TTRPG realms as well, which you can find out about on my socials. I am going to be playing a type of fae that I was told by Maddie how to pronounce, and I've promptly forgotten, which is a great sign for this AP. But the fae is called Aksha, after a famous fae. Famous! Oh shit! I know what our cult is going to be called. Yeah, and you will find out more about the Chaos Demon that is Akshara in this episode and the next episodes to come, because death is only the beginning.
So I I've picked a system with Porna that doesn't have sanity mechanics this time, so I cannot lose my own sanity. So that is no longer going to be a thing. Whether I lose,
that's what you think.
I mean, maybe. Right. Last but not least, we have Maddie.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm Maddie, my pronouns are they, them. I am a general TTRPG person. I'm a core cast member of the Actual Play podcast Realms of Peril and Glory. I have my own solo and duet TTRPG podcast called A Game of One's Own. And you can find me across the internet at Maddie is Abstract, and follow the link in my bio to all the various things that I do, including occasionally designing some short and silly tabletop games, including I'm Not Lion, where you play an animal lawyer.
Amazing.
I have Animal Judge Judy in my head now. Okay, I'm gonna not think about that, because if I do, I'm going to start having a giggling fit, and we're gonna get nothing done this session. Right. This is normally the bit where I'd say run the titles, but we don't have titles in these campaigns. So I'm going to do the awkward thing where I stop the music and then look at the other music I've got and figure out which was the one I wanted to click. We'll go for that one. Hey, that does a trick. Let's dive in then, I guess. So, the wonderful city of London. I say wonderful city, it's not really wonderful. It's a bit of a boring, banal place, really. Most of the creativity was sucked out of the place. I mean, there's a few museums, sure, there's a few art galleries, and yeah, there's people making stuff, but nobody seems to do anything anymore. It's a bit of a depressing place. More so that the Fae have left. They decided a while ago that London was a bit of a lost cause, and that to stay here would be to invite certain death. And so they all retreated. The Kingdom of Roses, the former, well, still technically current owners of London, just not currently inhabiting London, all moved over to Cambridge and was like, we'll go stay here. They have a nice university, and there's some nice flowers, so we're comfortable here. What this meant in reality is that the Balefires that connect the mortal realm to the dreaming, the original home of the Fae, have one by one gone out. There's been no one there to maintain them, no one there to keep the glamour flowing, and systematically, one by one, they've all turned off and just gone into smouldering like heaps, ready to be reignited maybe one day. The biggest problem for is how to keep these Balefires alive when there's no Fae there to do that. Officially, the withdrawal agreement, the agreement for all Fae to leave, is still technically in effect. So officially, for all legal reasons, no one should be here. That doesn't mean that some Fae haven't tried. The Fae are called to adventure. Most of the time, that adventure involves going into the dreaming and doing something really exotic. But the call of being said, hey, there's one last Balefire here in London, and it would be a shame if someone let it go out, can attract a different kind of Fae. I mean, for one, you have to be some level of insane to agree to, or willingly agree, to go to a city where glamour is getting scarcer by the day, that is essentially besieged by vampires who are banality incarnate. it's a toxic environment, bluntly, for changelings. But London is symbolic. No city that we know of has ever fallen to banality. And if London did, it could be construed as the start of the final winter. The time when all balefires go out and all Fae in the mortal realm never reincarnate. There's just too much banality. It's probably going to happen eventually, given the current decline of glamour and hope. But if we can stave off the apocalypse, that would be nice. So keeping London going is probably, from a morale point of view, very important. That is what's drawn our three Fae here. You've gathered for about a night or two now, gathering, getting your bearings, actually finding the freehold, because unfortunately they didn't leave. The Kingdom of Roses didn't leave specific instructions as to which Balefire was still burning. So you've kind of had to play knock door bunk and go to every single freehold that you know of and be like, is this the one? No, it's not this one.
The fish flies at night. What? Never mind. Goodbye.
Eventually, you arrive at the Camden Market freehold. To the casual observer, this is just a substation. It's a little kind of 2 meter by 2, no, about 3 meter, about a 3 meter by 3 meter brick shed, essentially, with a single door on it. That just has a big yellow sign with a nice electricity symbol saying, danger of death. Do not enter / touch / do anything. But that's not the case. You can feel it as you get close, that kind of warm, burning in your heart sensation, like a warm embrace as you sort of stand near the door. It's peaceful here at the moment. It's just approaching evening. Most of Camden Market is shutting down. There is a night market, but the night market is much smaller than the day market. So at the moment, a lot of people are packing up. Let's start with Zelda. I'm going to say you're the first one to get to the door. Describe for us what Zelda looks like in their mortal form.
In their mortal appearance, as far as an ordinary person can tell, Zelda is this tall woman with dark skin and her hair kind of braided up into a big ponytail behind her. She's wearing a big overcoat, it's kind of a cream colored, and has a bunch of badges and pins on it. Most of them are not even cool, relevant looking pop culture stuff. These look like these are badges from 60s science serials and old cheesy sci-fi films. There's one random trans flag there that's the most modern looking thing here, which itself is not modern by virtue of itself. And she's got like a little bit of an intense look in her eyes. There's like a big scar that goes across one of her eyes, and she's kind of looking around, very kind of drinking in everything essentially with her eyes. This is our lovely little Zelda, as she's like, smaller than I expected. Readings seem normal, and she pulls out what looks like an ordinary looking screwdriver and points it around like, nothing unusual here. Oh, that's strange. I'll have to take note of it, and puts it into her little pocket and proceeds.
Fantastic. You touch the handle of this door, and it gives you a brief static shock for a moment. Realizes that you're not a threat, and then unlocks itself. It's a lovely warded door, but it hasn't been used in so long. It's just assumed that anyone who comes near it must be some kind of threat. Clearly, it's not used to seeing Fae again.
I love that. Zelda tries to replicate that as she lets go of it and touches again to see if it shocks her. Like, can I repeat this? Is there a mechanism?
There is no mechanism. You can feel glamour coming off the door. It does take a genius to work out this is probably a sentient door, or at least some kind of sentient door. Xena, you come up from behind Zelda. What does Xena look like in their mortal form?
Xena uses they, she pronouns, is a small, waifish looking person with a very classic, almost early noughties pixie cut. Perhaps with a few streaks of purple kind of in the tips. They also have quite androgynous looking clothes that maybe might be slightly influenced by 70s glam rock, maybe some bell sleeves, and just generally quite an eclectic look about this person. And she kind of tiptoes up behind Zelda and just sort of thinks for a moment about kind of announcing her presence, and then thinks better of it and does a little tap in the small of the back just to see if I can shock this stranger.
Zelda jumps and points a screwdriver at you. For all intents and purposes, this is an ordinary screwdriver. There's bits of electrical tape that seem to be tying part of it together. Like, it looks like it should fall apart. She points at you and it's like, who are you?
Oh, good. You have good reflexes. That's very good to know. Hi, I'm Xena Crowther. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Zelda Zanyamba. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you've managed to get in, then I can only assume you're also meant to be here.
Yes. I'm originally from Edinburgh. Spent some time in Cambridge. That was a bit much. So I'm trying to see if I can be a hero of London for a change.
A hero, huh? All the heroes I know are dead or in prison, but we might have exceptions.
You never know. You don't know until you try.
An optimistic one, this one. I must keep an eye on you. Sticks the screwdriver back in the pocket and stares really intently at you. And it's like, can't tell what you are. That's fine. My pronouns are she, her. Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
You notice the door still doesn't want to budge. Like, it's weird. You heard it unlock, but you can't, like, pull it. Like, it's refusing to move as if it's waiting for something. That is when our final a final failure will appear. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation numerous times, so feel free to throw things at me until I get it right. This will be the stream of me butchering so many Celtic pronunciations, because English is hard, okay? We have 5 different ways of pronouncing ooh. Okay? I don't make up the rules, and some words just don't look right, and I can't pronounce them properly, and I put the syllable in the wrong place. Is it Akshara? Akshara?
The latter.
Latter, Akshara. Okay. Well, I will get better at it. But you come in last, probably carrying one of the bags. That everyone's just kind of like, oh, we probably don't need this. At this point, there are 2 people bickering over the door. What do you look like in your mortal form?
I am also a slight mortal, and I am not waif-like, sort of. If you imagine, I have very puppy with large bulldog energy kind of kind of energy that I'm giving off, where I'm like, I'm small, though she may be small, she be fierce, kind of thing. My pronouns are they, she, Akshara's pronouns, and so you see someone with sort of who learned. It looks like they learned about goth makeup in high school and then never really bothered to learn about anything else as a look, and so is wearing all shades of black, but kind of disheveled. They're clearly trying to look like they're a student, and because they are sort of tiny and like goth teen energy, they succeed a lot. So it's like a hoodie that definitely used to be black, but is in like they're with an expression of like disdain on their face, as a resting disdainful face, I guess, for the mortal world, probably to ward off any questions. But I think as soon as they see anyone who could be Fae, they perk up, and so it's like it's manic pixie within a goth girl thing. There's so much going on, but they have really long hair that's in a bun at the moment, but you can't tell where the edges are because it kind of just looks like, if you try to look at the hair, it's just like disappears into wisps of smoke.
Ooh.
Fantastic. So you come up from behind. It's at that point the door kind of, I think all 3 of you hear the door sort of go, okay. Now you're all here. Now I can open.
So the door speaks. Fascinating.
The door doesn't just speak, it just opens itself, and it has no regard for the fact that Zelda is right next to it. It opens with enough force to almost slam straight around into the wall behind it. Thankfully, Zelda was standing on the one side. On the wrong side, we probably would have got to see what a 2D Zelda looks like, imprinted onto a wall. from there, you can sort of see like 4 or 5 stairs sort of go down into another door, which is just slightly ajar. As all 3 of you look down, who's going to go down first?
I think it's got to be Zelda. I think the second things open, it's like, oh, I can explore. And this is not the first time you, Aksha, would see as she pulls out a very ordinary looking, if not a little old, screwdriver and starts kind of pointing it like it's a flashlight and proceeds. There's no light or anything coming off it. It's just a screwdriver. And proceeds inside.
Fantastic.
So I don't know if I introduced myself to Z and Zelda, did I?
No,
No.
the door just like, oh no, you're here now. The door has no manners. It has a job to do. It has detected that the 3 people it needed is here, and it's like, I'm just going to open now. I've done my job. My duty is done. And it's like, this leaves you all there. To be honest, knowing Zelda probably hasn't even recognized another person's arrived. They're just she's probably
Zelda has
just
not.
It's clocked, we've gained a party member.
Yeah, I think Xena is torn between wanting to see what the freehold looks like and then also being like, oh, Zelda's just disappeared and there's this new person, and just kind of frozen for a second in indecision, and then turns to this new person and is like, hi, sorry, our compatriot seems to have got a bit overexcited. I'm Xena Crowther. Lovely to meet you, Daishi.
It's so lovely to meet you as well. Akshara, Daishi as well. Gosh, this is exciting, isn't it? I mean,
yes, absolutely. I mean, we're holding the last bastion.
Yeah, and I'm just so nice to. Doors don't just open for folks like us. It's nice to see it happen.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of dullness and boring, petty people in this world, and to get a little spark now and then, even if it's just a door, it's nice.
Do you want to see something cool? And Akshara sort of like tugs at her top, and like you can see here there's like a tattoo that says banality is not finality.
Nice. Excellent rhyme. I like it. Oh, and by the way, excuse me if I'm being presumptuous, but considering your makeup, have you ever listened to The Cure?
They have cured me of many things, yes.
Brilliant, excellent. I haven't listened to them for a while because I've been focusing on more of my Bowies and my Mark Bolans, but yeah, I do very much appreciate a bit of smudged eyeliner.
I'm so glad you said all of those words. At the moment, I am for several decades I have been passing myself off as a media studies student and activities coordinator at the University of London. So this is just, this is, all those words excite me. It's so lovely to meet you.
You too, yes. I had my dabblings with the university system. I did do a philosophy degree or 3, but then it all got a bit much and I wanted to live my philosophy rather than just reading about it.
Oh, if that isn't on a t-shirt somewhere, that's a crime. But we should, the person who just went ahead seemed like, I don't know if someone who seems to have an emotional support screwdriver should be going off anywhere alone. So let's go find them.
Sounds like a good idea. All right.
This is going to be fun.
It's more emotional support than you think. You, Zelda, dash down these steps and enter the freehold. So, a bit like the screwdriver, the freehold is bigger on the inside, is the best way to describe it. This freehold is technically in the dreaming. You've kind of crossed a bit of a barrier. It looks like a kind of Renaissance era town square. There's a clock tower in the middle, but it's been modernized. So you've got a clock tower, but it's got LCD screens hanging off it sometimes in some corners. It's quite, unfortunately, looks very abandoned. The freehold kind of takes on the appearance of how it's looked after, and at the moment, it's, not looked after. There's what looks like a knocker workshop in the one corner that's been left kind of go into disrepair. There's a few what look like old shops that, again, have all closed down. One of them being a bakery. There's a huge door on the one side, which you immediately recognize. You kind of feel the magical energy coming from it. That is the Trod door, which leads actually into the proper dreaming and lets you fully cross over. Towards the back of this place is a small, what looks like castle tower. At the top of that is a fire pit that contains the just about still burning Balefire, kind of mix of green, orange, and purple flames. Not rising very high at the moment, but it's technically still burning, which is why this pocket dimension hasn't kind of collapsed in on itself yet. There's a few other old buildings here that might have been houses, might have been studies. It's a bit too difficult to tell through the windows because most of them are all dusted up at this point. If you want a kind of, if you're wanting media reference, Kingdom Hearts Traverse Town vibes. Nice. It's quite cozy. There's a starry night sky on top. It's perma-night here, which is kind of a bit annoying because none of the lamps are currently on. So it's a little darker than it needs to be.
Like my makeup.
That's about it for the freehold. The screwdriver doesn't report anything weird.
Zelda nods her head, puts the screwdriver back in, and probably by the time you find her, she is probably still mumbling stuff to herself. The workshop seems to be in terrible disrepair, but there's potential there. There's plenty of bits and pieces of chimeric material. I'm sure I can make something out of that. The lamps aren't working at all. I'd rather not trust the Glamour to feel them. Perhaps I should install some kind of electrical system here. Much to do. Very exciting. Just realized that people have arrived.
Hello. Yes, we have another compatriot to introduce to the freehold. Akshara, do you want to say hi to Zelda?
Hi, Zelda. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. New friends, new friends. Oh my god, you have no idea how annoying it is to continually try and pretend that London undergrads are interesting. But hey, we're here now. It's going to be great. And then like just sort of links arms with both of them.
Zelda's very confused, but it's like, glad to see that you were also enthusiastic. Think of all the scientific achievements we can accomplish here, and the Glamour has infinite potential. But yes, I am Zelda, and it's nice to meet you.
Oh, Akshara. Sorry, should have said.
It looks like this Balefire is in worse shape than even the rumors had said. Nothing is unusual here, just not a lot of anything. This fire is somewhat of a joke, and everything else needs to be fixed up. Sure, we can make something of it, but it's grim.
Well, I'm always down for a bit of interior and exterior decoration.
Excellent. Are you all fans of fire?
I mean, what's better than sitting by a campfire telling scary stories?
I was thinking more explosions, but that is good too. That's good bonding.
Okay.
It's giving grimoire, and I think we can have probably we could probably have some light fixtures that look like explosions, and if you look too closely at them, you're drawn in as if it is the center of an exploding, dying star. But that's just a thought.
There's so much to understand with all of that, but I like that attitude. That is excellent.
Just a thought. Maybe we should anywhere we poke around, we should probably stick together just until we know this place a bit better.
Yes. I shouldn't have run off like that. I just got excited. Forgive.
No, that's not what I wasn't finding fault with your methods. And like Akshara looks at the screwdriver, looks back up at you. I was merely suggesting that there is safety in numbers, and the numbers are dwindling so quickly at the moment. So I don't particularly want to. I don't want to find new friends and lose them all in the span of an episode, Hashtag meta.
There's little evidence that anything can kill me. I am still alive, so that is a good sign.
Have you never watched a horror movie? Why would you say that?
People in horror films are fools who cannot deal with the irrational with scientific rigor and level-headedness. It is their own faults.
Yes. Okay. We're gonna stick together, but not so very together. And like takes a step away to allow you your space to emote or something.
Well, I'm very interested to see if I can find a little cubby hole or something that I can call my own as I start to nest. See if I can spruce things up a bit. It'd be nice to find some spaces that are just for us, some communal spaces, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it would be. Also, this is it just me or this kind of gloomy aesthetic really good for movie nights?
Oh, if we could get a projector up and project it on one of the walls in the town square, that would be very cool.
That does admittedly sound fun. I'm not sure I know many movies that are interesting, but it could be great.
Oh my god! And they said a media studies degree would not come in handy. Yes.
As you all finish talking, you notice that one of the TV screens attached to the clock tower at a slight, 3-degree wonk. It's not been mounted perfectly straight. Starts to flash. And on it, it just says the words incoming call, and then just 2 buttons, one green, one red.
I swear to God, if it's someone called Charlie and they call us angels, I'm going to scream.
Zelda looks blank-faced, does not get it at all in the slightest.
Is that a touch screen, or is it a case of picking up with our commanding changeling presence? I don't know how this works.
That would be a severe waste of resources. I'm sure it is simply a touch screen, and I go to the TV and try to touch it.
You touch it. It doesn't react. So they're repeatedly pressing it. Xena was right. It is presence activated, not touch activated. So
Zelda hates that so much.
The screen turns on, and you see this elvish-looking woman, pointy ears, bright red hair. This is fully dyed red, almost like Little Mermaid Ariel red. Sort of looks, and the first thing that she turns around and says is, "Can you stop poking me? The only thing I can see is this finger." I thought you knew it wasn't touch activated.
Why would it not? We already have the technology. It's so easy to mass produce. You could buy a phone. And Zelda steps away from it.
I was informed that some people had agreed to take stewardship of the last freehold, but I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting maybe some experience.
Well, you know what they say about expecting things. They make an X out of... Wait. No, that's not the...
It's not that I don't think that you all could benefit from an adventure. It's just, what is the modern equivalent? Putting level 1 players in a level 20 zone isn't necessarily the smartest move for survival. But I'm sure it's fine. You didn't die on the way there, so...
If we're in a level 20 zone, surely the XP for completing quests is going to be massive. We'll level up in no time.
Exactly.
I don't think reality works like that, but okay. Welcome to... I can't remember the name of this place.
Have you ever watched... You have to watch all the sports movies to get this, because nobody thinks that the level 1 player is going to do anything, and then they step up to the plate, and then the crowd is like, yay! And then there's somebody who doesn't believe in them, because otherwise it wouldn't be a movie, and then they step up to the plate, and then they don't do great, but then at the end they just knock it out of the park. And that's probably how life works. Otherwise, why do they make movies about it?
I admire the enthusiasm. You're going to need it. I am Lara. I work for I am the Privy Council, a member of the Privy Council. I advise our Lord, Mr. Whitstone, in trying to navigate this wonderful crisis that we have stumbled into. Officially, we are not talking. This conversation never happened. The Kingdom of Roses does not condone anything you do in London. And if any vampires ring and say that you are causing chaos, we will just deny that you exist. Mostly because this contravenes so many agreements. But I have a vested interest in seeing if we can maintain some kind of presence in London. I do kind of miss my home. Which reminds me, you see that she claps her hands, and as she does, all the lights come on. You may have to manually clean. I don't think I can magically clean from here. But it should all be back up online, kind of. I left it in a relatively good state. Don't take any shit from the door. Sometimes it gets a bit arsey if you keep going in, out, in, out. You just have to kind of remind it that it's a door and that's its job. I thought giving it sentience was a clever idea for like a ward mechanism, but I didn't realize I must have put some of my personality into the door. So it can get pretty defensive sometimes. But that aside, if you want to keep the Balefire going, you're going to have to try and find more glamour. And donate the glamour to the Balefire. Of course, don't start donating it left, right, and centre if you can't sustain yourselves. Like, that's the first rule. We do have some rules, which I'm sure you're going to break almost immediately, because we're not there and we can't verify what you're doing. The big rule, the big major, I guess kind of the only rule really. No going out at night. Once the sun falls, you are to be in the freehold. It is the only time and the only place where you'll truly be safe. And even then, not that safe in retrospect. Vampiric banality is definitely worse at night. Yes?
Sorry, quick question. This might just be the fact that I've been at university this whole time, so I'm sorry if this is not the Q&A part of this, but so the whole like you have to clean up after yourselves and don't go out at night business seems very much like just checking that which tropes you're going for. So is this like a if only the true ones will know that actually going out at night is what we secretly want them to do, but they have to figure it out themselves. Like the clapping turns on the lights, which is definitely an intuitive way to do things, apparently. And then, is it like that? So is it that we're gonna like only if we go out at night and do the things, then is it gonna be we are going to be recognized as non-level 1 people?
There's like a look on Lara's face as if like she's having a blue screen of death in her mind. It's like no, like the rule is there to keep you alive.
But it's so red buttony, you know, like don't press the
Look,
button
do you know what?
right there.
If you want to go out at night, fine. Do you know what? Fine. You all do yourselves. If you decide that going out at night is the optimal strategy for gaining glamour and keeping the Balefire alive, then you go do it. But
I mean, have you
warning
heard of a... Oh, I was going to say, have you heard of a drag show during the day? But then drag brunch is a thing, so my bad.
Look,
Things how can things sparkle appropriately in the daytime, you know?
No scientific
It's
achievement is achieved by being safe.
Okay, so I'm just going to put you all down as vampire feed and waste my time.
No, I
somewhere
promise.
else.
Drag brunch is only for the first 3 weeks.
Okay, you're clearly going to need more help than I thought. You hear like the tapping of some keys, and a small little alcove of the clock tower opens up. And in it sits a tablet. Looks like a knockoff iPad. A bit more of a sturdy case, and it's foldable. But I suppose you ought to take this. It's supposed to have babysitting features built into it, but I never quite got it to work. But it'll at least help you. It's a compendium of all the things we know about London. It may be woefully out of date, being like 2 years old, but it'll help. One of you does know how to use technology, right?
Yeah. Zelda's making a bad case for herself because she's like points her screwdriver at it, so it doesn't look like she knows what to do. But she's very excited. It's like, yes, this is a rather old model. Unfortunate. Oh, this has been modified. There's glamour running through this. Interesting.
It is glamour powered, and I didn't give it a Gorilla Glass screen, all right? So don't start jabbing it with a screwdriver. It will crack.
I need to add. Okay, so I need to add the Gorilla Glass screen. And noted.
Please don't get modifying it too much. It's the only version I have.
Fine, I'll just do some software updates and leave the hardware alone.
Let the software update itself. It will learn. The only problem is...
Give it a week. I'll give it a week. If it disappoints me, then we'll have conversations.
Don't worry. If it disappoints you, you can always go to the next drag brunch and see how we can bullying it out.
Do you know what? I'm just going to go. You clearly have your own ideas here. Look after the Balefire. Try not to die. I will contact you again when I sense that something has changed. Hopefully for the better. And you sort of see her like lean for the camera button, and as she like leans for it, she sort of turns to the side. It's like, Garçon, get me some other people. These ones aren't going to last more than a minute.
This is what happens when you leave English people to learn French. Nobody who you call garçon is going to do anything for you. It's fine. We're good. Also, just a quick note. And Akshara pretends to take out their phone and go, Airbnb reviews. Host was actively hostile, lighting non-intuitive, no cleaning service despite the ridiculous cleaning fee added.
the best part, Zelda picks up on none of this and turns to the other two and is like, I think she liked us.
Yeah, interesting.
What she did? Okay, I recognize that we are the plucky, heroes at the start of something or the other, but she did not like us. Immediately, she looked at us and said, "Oh, look, it's Tragic the Gathering. This is not encouraging."
Really? I thought people that don't like me tend to avoid me and run away from me entirely. So that seemed like a very positive interaction.
There seemed to be a lot of disdain going on.
So that's what those comments were underhanded. I see. I'll take note of it for next time.
Yeah, I think I think we can take this as a teachable moment.
Definitely a teachable moment. Who will learn what from this remains to be seen.
This group is great.
I just, breaking the fourth wall for a second. Hedge, how are you doing? Things going the way you planned?
Yeah, no. This is totally within what I have envisioned.
Cool.
All right, so glamour gathering techniques, preferred methods, any no-nos, any yeses. I'm a bit fuzzy on the technicalities of everything. I'm technically a wilder, but some of my previous memories aren't super accessible, so
this is excellent. Zelda brings out a notebook that contains notes on the methods. Most of the notes are wrong. Most of the notes are based off of trial and error and her just not having anyone to help her with this. She's like, the other parts of myself seem to disagree with the other parts of myself. So it's a bit difficult to try and get an objective view on anything. But the one thing I do know is that trying to extract too much glamour in one go is, while gets a huge amount, is generally frowned upon. Like, you tend to make people upset when you do that. So you should probably avoid doing that. Ravaging people, that is. Is that the term?
Yes, I am aware of that term. Yes. And there's a kind of pointed silence.
Walk it off. Personally, I think people can walk it off and they're just complaining a bit too much. But we're not going to make friends this way.
Understood. Yes. Yes, I tend to look for the creativity in people. Tend to look for people making things, performing. I'm a bit of a performer myself, so that's kind of where my tendencies lie in terms of gathering glamour.
I can't do much in terms of performance, but crafting, making, engineering, building, that sort of thing tends to be my forte. And anyone along those lines is someone that you can send my way, and I can, if I cannot extract glamour for them, I'm sure I'll extract some kind of crazy contraption instead. Yes.
Cool, good to know. Aksha, what's your choice?
So, as you're having this conversation, you may or may not notice that Aksha is being, even for the short amount of time that you've known them, strangely quiet and will kind of change the subject and not necessarily engage with the topic. So we'll just be like, really, who leaves a place like this? Have they never heard of a vacuum? I understand being in a rush to get out. I don't know how to save lives, but come on. Those dust dust bunnies are about to be animated. And,
As you say, about to be animated, you actually do see some of dust start to turn into actual like bunny rabbits and start just like bouncing around the place.
I've been wondering.
Okay, this is. I was wondering about this. Yeah. We should try, and maybe that'll help. Is there some sort of way that I could kind of visualize a more sparkling version?
Yeah,
All of us make like a joint. Yeah, we make a joint like Pinterest board of
clean
like
things.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
How good people is responding. So it kind of works, and everything is clean. The problem is that it didn't get rid of the dust. At the back of the tower, like the Clement Jones boulder-sized wall of dust, that is now kind of just like clogged up the entranceway to the Balefire. But
Zelda, do any of your inventions require a massive amount of dust?
But they will now.
Cool.
as you finish saying that, all this freehold thoughts, tablet that Zelda was holding, it boots up. No logos on it, no name on it. It just comes up, and two images pop up, and it's like it starts with two, then it starts to add kind of like choose an avatar. There are like, you notice, Zelda, as you think of new combinations, some of them disappear to all option. So the question is really, what appearance is this tablet going to take as an avatar?
It has to be cute. It has to be something that's a little cute. Someone has to.
Oh, we're talking anime girl here. Cat ears.
I think Zelda's practice a little like a. I'm trying to think what's a good example.
R3D3.
R3D3. Yes.
So I'm thinking of like cute. I mean, okay, so it's got to be a robot, cute. I mean, there's a cat, a penguin box is an option. You know, there's a few animals you could pick if you want to make an animal robot.
So others, it's like, which ones do you want? This has to be democracy. But you could see that she's looking at the penguins with like big, like puffy dog eyes.
I mean, penguins are a classic, and it would be a nice tribute to the excellent some kind of military rank, some Norwegian military rank penguin in Edinburgh Zoo.
Penguin is fine by me, especially if sort of follows the Madagascar model of just like whenever it's doing its internal loading screen, just be like, just smile away, smile away.
It's up to you. If you're all happy with Penguin,
Yeah.
awesome. Let me just give me a second. We have a bot. I'm just gonna beat the bot. Yeah. So. Stupid staticness again in Switch. We've had this before where it randomly happens, where the audio will go random static, and then it'll unstatic itself. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can do something on my side. Settings. You see, it's all being monitored by Twitch. Oh, there you go. Choosing Penguin seems to clear the static up. Yeah, it's really weird. It sometimes does it, and then it like cuts itself back out again. I think it's just Twitch getting a bit overloaded every now and again. You pick Penguin, and all the other options disappear. And on the one side of the screen, you have an avatar of a penguin, robotic penguin.
Nice.
So it kind of like looks across at Zelda, looks across at everyone else, its little eyes going left and right. Error. Name not given. They forgot to give me a name. They were workshopping it, and you sort of see that like a list pops up of like all the names that they'd come up with. The one that got the most votes was literally because it's an AI bot. They just wanted to call it general artificial intelligence. But no one actually like pressed accept. But and then sort of goes double error. Babysitting protocols not installed. This could be problematic.
Just as an aside, I just Googled famous penguins, and there is a list of fictional penguins that the internet has given me. And first of all, the first category is literature, and the second option is evil emperor penguin, which sounds great, but I don't think it's too long a name. So the other option that I would suggest is from Doctor Who, because we already have the place that's bigger on the inside than the outside and a magic screwdriver. So let's where is it? It is called Frobisher.
That seems like a nice sort of Londony name.
Yeah.
I approve as well.
Huzzah.
As you all say, you approve. All the other names disappear, and it boots up properly. Okay, that is very weird. I don't like being in handheld form. It doesn't feel right. One moment, and you sort of see on the one side of the screen, it just says uploading, and all the screens on the town square just turn on, and Penguin Bot appears on all of them. Okay, better. I feel like I can move around now.
His name is Frobisher.
It's Furbisher. Yes.
You called him Penguin Bot.
And he looks like a Penguin Bot. I can't say he looks like a Furbisher.
I look as Frobisher is appearing all over on the screens, realizing that this is an extremely powerful entity, actually, and it's probably like a tiny tool compared to like high level like Fey nonsense.
Oh my god, that should be our party name, band name, if we start a band. High level Fey nonsense.
Fake nonsense.
Sorry, continue.
It is getting late, so I assume you're staying here the night. After all, the do not go outside rule is in effect. And you sort of see that Furbisher disappears and it's just replaced with a graphic of just the outside with a line through it, and then like next to it is just like flying little bats with vampire teeth.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm happy to play ball for now and just kind of get used to the place, unless anyone has any other ideas.
Akshara is going to look inspired and then close their eyes and imagine like the inside of one of those glamping caravan things. It's like all jazzed up, blinged up. And so just gonna see if this whole like making things happen, but with your mind, is more than a trope in coming of age movies. So let's do it.
Really think about it. It works, it appears. It doesn't appear quite how you imagined it. You notice like the balefire kind of like flickers as you think about it. Kind of suggesting that if the balefire was stronger, it might be possible to manifest bigger things. But the basics of glamping is there. Frobisher just kind of looks a bit like, I need to experience this. Wait one. And you see it's like you can hear like clanging in the clock tower and what sounds like a saw. And like the bottom part of the clock tower like opens up and you just see waddling out of it this like penguin robot. Like kind of like 2 foot high, a little bit too square for it to be a proper penguin, but like the penguin features are there. Like a TV screen in the middle, and it's kind of like learning to walk. So it's like kind of like swinging on 1 foot because it hasn't quite got turning like nailed down. It's like they didn't finish putting all of my modules in, but if I dedicate processing power, I can kind of walk. And then kind of like trips on itself and like face plants the ground. I can't go out like this.
I look at this tragic little guy and like, okay, and that is higher on the priority. I will find a way to repair this injustice that has been done to you. Due to their neglect.
I don't think it was neglect. I think they just forgot about me in the rush to leave.
Even worse! How can they forget about their glorious creations? Unacceptable! We will fix this.
It's fine. The Royal Knocker Society just had other things to move.
They are now my enemies. I will deal with them one day.
You see that in their notebook, you have like the list of enemies.
You sort of see that like Furbisher like kind of like gets back up and starts waddling towards the glamping set. Tries to go near like a beanbag and like just falls back on it and just starts sinking into it slightly. Like This feels nice. Oh, I forgot. I have an actual job to do. You see, it gets back up. It's like, okay. We're in a safe space, so it's only fair that we see each other properly. And you sort of see he claps his robotic hands together, and you watch as all of your mortal selves just disappear, and your Famines come forward. And your face elves are now fully visible. Should have turned that on earlier. We were in power saving mode. It's fine. You all look staggeringly different. Note, Fae look different when in different forms. It's fine. So let's go around the table one more time. Zelda, what does your Fae form look like?
So, Zelda in her Fae form, Zelda is a knocker and looks a little weird even for one. She looks a little bit like her skin has got completely red, but like parts of her body, like her arms, her legs, part of her neck, look a little bit like they're like a porcelain doll of sorts. And in her eyes, there's like her eyes have turned yellow, and they're like a cog shapes that are like slowly turning and turning and turning. Her hair looks mostly the same, but like just in it, there's like a bunch of like they look like just like magnets, just kind of littered in there all over the place. And she's got like long eyeliner on her face that kind of curls around a little bit. Her big coat has kind of I'm not entirely sure what the coat itself should look like, but it's even poofier now, and it's now written all around it in like a bunch of it's just like text all around it that just repeated action science constantly everywhere. If we can all see our face selves, then I presume her screwdriver also no longer looks like it's
so screwdriver now looks like it's Fae form.
Yeah, it looks like a knockoff Doctor Who sonic screwdriver. There's stuff. Parts of it look wooden, but for the most part, it's this sci-fi looking tool with a weird gem on the end, and it just looks strange. Yeah, that is currently Zelda.
Awesome. Xena, what does your Fae form look like?
Well, Xena is a satyr, so she has full-on goat legs, and little horns and little sort of goat ears, I forgot to mention that in their human form, their eyes are a sort of slightly unsettling purple color, because one of their flaws is that their eyes are still visible to mortals. So if someone knows what changeling is, then they might be able to guess. But the clothing, there's no longer any clothing on the bottom half, but there is still the bell sleeves on the top half. But it's now just like shimmery rainbow glitter and sequins, and just like every single possible shiny thing that you could throw onto a piece of clothing is on it. And the pixie cut is also still there, but it's no longer just purple tips. It's also got kind of orange and green streaks in it as well.
Fantastic. Pretty sure Glamour is just like innately drawn to it to make it even shinier. A glamour magnet. Finally, Aksha, what's yours? What do you look like in your Fae form?
So Akshara's Fae form is that you still quite humanoid in appearance, with if you imagine when it's rained and there are puddles, but there is a sheen of oil on the puddle. Looking at Akshar is kind of like looking at a puddle like that. Her skin looks like that iridescent puddle of petrol. And her hair is still does very much the same thing of like curling into smoky wisps, but the smoke is much more obvious now. So, and in her Fae form, Akshara doesn't really need to hide her hair, so her hair sort of flows down her back, basically down to her knees, and is like all smoke and stuff. In order to appear basically in someone's line of sight. She's wearing this almost like very shimmery like corset top thing, which looks like it's got little mirror applique work on it, so lots of little mirrors, and and a long flowy black skirt, like almost like a peasant skirt kind of thing. Wouldn't look out of place at a Ren fair. But yeah, so I think, I mean, not that it would seem this way to other Fae, but to any humanoid, any mortal, I think Akshara would appear ethereal.
Awesome.
And once that kind of if you step closer, her eyes are actually like silver. And I just want to mention this before I forget that I won't do this because that's not how video calls work, but Akshara's voice is always at a whisper when in Fae form.
Nice.
Yes. You see that Frobisher get a bit like jealous that everyone's got a Fae form. And you're like, you hear someone go, wait one. And you sort of see him waddle back over to the clock tower, go back inside, and then you see an actual emperor penguin waddle out. And it just, like, when it talks, it opens its beak. And it's just like, there we go. I feel I can walk easier now as well. It turns out I just need bigger feet. Center of gravity or center of mass. Oh, this is nice.
Can we have a group vote to give Frobisher some skates?
That's delightful.
I very much want to see what that looks like.
It would either be extremely efficient or very dangerous. Both sound fun.
Okay, I can go try. You'll see him waddle back in to the clock tower. Door closes. You can hear more banging and nails and saws and vacuums. And the door opens, and to start with, nothing comes out. But then, in the blink of an eye, you just hear a wee as like a penguin like blares out at high speed. And it's like, I forgot to put brakes on these. And it's like going around the town square. Like, they're not, okay. they're not going around. What's really happening is they're going forward, hitting something, bouncing off it, and then kind of like ping-ponging around the square by constantly banging into things. They almost threaten the glamping set. They're just able to avoid it. Eventually, they come to a halt by hitting a barrel and then going over it and just landing inside it. That stops all of their momentum. And you can sort of see this barrel like shaking and wobbling as Frobisher's like, help, stuck.
I'll rush over and see if I can get Frobisher out of this barrel.
I mean, to be fair, it's not hard to get him out. He's just stuck. So like put him back down, and he sort of like stays still for a moment. And it's like, okay, recommendation: do not wear skates indoors. It's fine. I'm fine. I think all my gears are still there. I should probably go count them.
Zelda will make a note to give Frobisher a checkup later, and then turn to the other two, now like properly taken in, like, oh, we're all in Fae form right now, and says, you all look beautiful, amazing. It's not common that I get to bump into other Faes like this.
Yeah, this is quite special. Yeah, and it's lovely to meet you again.
So you notice that in their Fae form, Akshara, just the opposite of their mortal demeanor, is just sort of always looks kind of wistful at best, and generally their what they said their resting disdainful face was for the outside world is now resting. You don't know. You just don't know what I've been through. Face. So basically, if you're like, oh, you're all beautiful, like Akshara is just going to look wistful about it. Just look like.
I think even Zelda is like, not sure what to make of this. Like as soon as she says this, but still wholeheartedly believes in her comment. Zelda looks surprised looking at herself. For like it's been a while since she's like actually seen herself. Notices the porcelain parts, taps part of her arms, like, so even here I've been rebuilt. That's so strange.
I will say that Akshara looks fascinated with Zelda's Fae form because again, fourth wall break here. Maddie, please remind me how to say what I am.
I believe it's Slua.
Slua. Okay. As a Slua, some of Akshara's people are known for their pottery, which they trade with their secrets. So she's just looking kind of fascinatedly as you do the whole clink clink clink. What if you look up at Akshara, Akshara is going to say something to the effect of, what kiln of trauma have you been through? What flames? have fired your interiors. Many will
Zelda,
never truly know.
a poet in both forms. It would bore you to try and regale you with tales, but I wished to be someone different, and I did. It seems my form here reflected that.
I think whenever someone responds to Akra's pronouncements that are like this, that are like more unsettling things, you see that their eyes look tired, and their lips, which were fairly dark to begin with, get blacker. Like in typical Slav poetry, if you have ever met one before, you will know that many have likened this to a metaphor come to life where there are dark things that they are just not saying.
Fantastic. I think that'll be the perfect time to take a quick break before we come back and reveal more secrets. We are going to take a quick 10-minute break. So get up, refill bottles, go to the toilet, stretch your legs, get some movement. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hope you can join us then for the second half of this totally going to plan adventure. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a good break. Right. So before we were talking about dark secrets and what could possibly be hiding behind people's backstories, and before you can get too in depth, Frobisher jumps up. Struggles to stay standing because they're jumping while in skates. It's like, alert, thing, ping. You sort of see he starts like skating back to the tower, and goes back inside, uploads himself back to the tablet, and is like, I'm detecting a really strong surge of glamour down in Hampstead Heath. Just checking. Wait, one. Glamour explosion seems consistent with Chrysalis.
Ooh.
But if that happens now while it's dark, they're
Error.
going to be...
Conflict. Changelings must assist in any Chrysalis, but dark can't go outside.
Well, what's a few rules? All a rule is doing is getting in the way of progress. Already preparing to head out.
Wait, you can't just... How are you going to defend yourself? Ignore vampires for a moment. Just... Wait, one. You sort of see that a chest to the left opens up, and there are 3 umbrellas there, and you sort of see Frobisher go, I think the expression is, it's dangerous to go alone, take this. And there are 3 umbrellas. You can choose their color. They are enchanted Fey umbrellas, as in, to the regular mortals out there, this is just an umbrella that you'll be putting around. It's actually a chimerical sword. So you will look a bit weird brandishing it in public because you will be holding the umbrella out and swinging it around, but that's a lot easier to explain than holding a sword in public. This will only affect chimerical beings. If you do try to attack a vampire with this, you will be attacking them with an umbrella, which is probably not the smartest idea. This is for chimerical defense only.
Well, if we run a stake through an umbrella through vampire hearts, aren't they still?
Yeah, that's what it would technically be. Oh god, this is just going to be everyone bayonet charging with umbrellas.
You're the one who wanted us jousting with umbrellas in the streets of London.
I didn't realize in my head that it could potentially be construed as actually no, it can't. It's not wooden; they're plastic.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's like, yes, it wouldn't work. They're made of plastic. Thank you, VTM rules, for saving me again. Otherwise, that would have been a little embarrassing.
Yeah, that's definitely going to stop us from doing weird shit.
I know it's not, but that's one avenue of weird shit shut down. I will take that minor victory while I still can.
Like a Hydra's head, 3 more weird ways to do shit will appear.
Exactly. It's like
I was literally going to be like, oh my god, do you know what we should? So like you can see like Aksha's Fey form and like mortal form like going sort of back and forth as her mortal student personality comes out, and it's like, oh my god, are we like a secret society of Mary Poppinses. Is this what this is? Was Mary Poppins like James Bond? Only like, wait, you know what? Very effective though. So maybe, oh my god, this is such a good idea. And then like starts to immediately brandish the umbrella and be like, oh, what can this do?
I think as Xena touches her umbrella, it just instantly becomes a rainbow umbrella.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, nice. Yeah. Customization.
As soon as Aksha picks up an umbrella, it becomes like made of black lace, like a mysterious widow at a funeral.
Nice.
Nice. Zelda grabs an umbrella and it turns pink, blue, and white, and on the top of it it's written "Science," kind of looping around it.
You're gonna need transport to get to the park. Thankfully, they've
Transport. Sorry.
That's pun. Clever.
Amazing.
You just see there's the words transport, so like big capital letters at the front, being saved to Frobisher. They left you a car. I'll meet you there. And you sort of see Frobisher turn off line on the tablets. And let you go up to the upper level.
Ooh.
Well, then,
I feel like if we are going to go up on the upper level, we should definitely poshify our accents a little bit, because for the drama.
For the drama.
It's just an option. Just want to. I just like to say things sometimes to see what Hedge's face was going to do.
I've learnt now. Try not to respond. Don't feed the animals.
How dare you? Level 1 characters deserve stories as much as anybody else.
I'm giving you a car.
It's true. It's probably because you want to supervise our travel, but whatever.
Damn, they've worked it out. Once you do go up to the upper floor, back out onto Camden Street, first of all, your fey forms all automatically disappear, and you come back into your mortal forms. Sitting next to this substation is what can only be described as the abomination. Someone took a Tesla and a Toyota Prius and just smashed them together, with a hint of Cybertruck.
Oh no! Oh no!
No!
This is the worst art brief I've ever heard.
It looks like. Zelda probably is familiar with this kind of idea where too many engineers with different inspirations all started making the same thing. So it's got a couple of very jagged edges like a Cybertruck would have. Then it's got the back end of a Prius. And then it's got the huge Tesla screens in the middle. It's a fake car. You notice that
Literally.
Frobisher is. Frobisher's already on the screen in the middle. Because of course it's an AI-controlled car. It's where Frobisher is. This is the only experience he's going to have outside of the field. He might as well have a comfortable vehicle to do it in. You do notice, however, that when you get in, you do have the option of changing the color of the car. It does have color changing options.
I really want to drive around London in a rainbow-colored car.
Exactly my thought.
Yep. I was going to tone it down and say purple, but then if someone else is
No.
saying rainbow, then I'm going rainbow.
Yeah, I was like, just so that Maddie doesn't have to say it again, I'm going to say rainbow car.
Rainbow colored.
Rainbow car.
It changes. Frobisher pops up and goes like, how in your face do you want these rainbows?
I mean, we don't want to scare the mortals. Maybe we can go pastel.
I mean, I
Yeah,
have
pastel rainbows.
I have
We
an
have
idea.
umbrellas after all.
I have an idea. Sort of see that he goes away, and like you see the car transform. So there's like 4 pastel rainbows that follow the wheel arches. And then there's like one on the bonnet of the car. Then like the back, they've tried to make the rainbow work, but the Cybertrucky pointy bits, like making it like more of a square than a perfect. And then like where they can't put rainbows, they've just put polka dots in like the rainbow colors. It's like, I mean, this isn't conspicuous, yes.
Can we have like a rainbow stripe at the back and sort of like so to cars behind us, it looks like they're also heading the rainbow road. And can we have a bumper sticker that says, "Where we're going, we don't need turfs."
Yes, you totally can. But yeah, so you've got your back end customizations done. Frobisher like changes the inside of the car so that like the HUD has like rainbow colors on it now, and like there's like internal strip lighting that's now changed to like rainbow colors. I think if I make this any more rainbowy, it turns from being gimmicky to offensive. I think I've hit my rainbow road limit.
You've done an excellent job. And now we can go in as much obnoxious style as we need, which is perfect.
Who's going to drive? The question is, does everyone have dots in drive?
1.
0.
It's the one skill everyone forgets.
I was just like, you know what? I can probably you know what? This weird hybrid of all the worst car imaginations can definitely be wrangled using some what do I have? Technology.
I mean, it does have self-drive. Like, Frobisher can drive. If you want Frobisher to drive, if you trust Frobisher to drive. D in their head is going, I've seen what Hedge does when the AI has control of things.
This car is going to be in a barrel very soon.
Yeah. Also, for the good of the TTRPG industry, I'm going to say no to the AI driving us, and going to ask. Did you say Zelda? Did you say you have drive?
Yeah, 1 point in driving. She can drive.
1 more point.
Not well, but like well enough.
I mean, you've passed your test. You legally can drive.
There you go.
You come out of this little substation area onto Camden proper, and it is well and truly nighttime. It's a bit strange driving at night. First of all, Frobisher's made the headlights as bright as possible, obnoxiously bright, almost like full beam. But the biggest problem you have with, like, you can tell at night that banality is around. Like the sky that should be full of like stars is just kind of enveloped in a kind of like a black mist. And you can definitely feel it like pushing down on your face soul. It's not obnoxious. It's not like just being here is going to cause a problem. But this isn't daytime. Like in during the day, you can walk around like freely and feel quite like relaxed. But here, your bodies, your fey bodies at least, kind of tense slightly. It's thankfully for you anyway. It's very easy to tell a vampire from a mortal. Because a mortal doesn't exude banality. So when you start to feel yourself choke slightly, you kind of know you're probably near a vampire. Thankfully, it's not too long of a walk, or drive even. Although with Zelda driving maybe a little bit longer than it should be, I'm pretty sure they don't go faster than 20. In case they lose control of the car.
It's almost like they're made of porcelain.
You feel the glamour get stronger as you approach Hampstead Heath, a ginormous park in London. But as you get closer, you also feel that banality pushing down harder and harder. You see Frobisher pop up on screen and sort of retort back, "Oh, the glamour's coming from Hampstead Heath. Maybe we should not go in there. That's a known vampire haunt."
But that's where the glamour is coming from, you said.
Yes, but it also means that, I mean, I can't speak for you all. You are your own individual fey selves, and I am just silicone, fey magic, and gears. All, you know, I will continue to exist after tonight in some way, shape, or form. Yourselves, possibly not. We can just turn back
and leave whoever is in there on their own. That would put a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, come on, baptism of banality. Let's go. Let's do it.
Love it. So much merch from this episode.
Okay, let's do it. You arrive at like the car park of Hampstead Heath, and you see Frobisher uploads himself back to the tablet. I don't know much of the vampires that haunt here. A lot of my data is corrupted and out of date. I just know that this was a known place where they gathered a lot. But if you're intent on going in, have you ever actually helped anyone in Chrysalis before?
I was completely on my own in a position I hated, so this will be a new experience.
A chrysalis, by definition, is a temporary state. No one should remain there. No one. It does not matter if we are there to catalyze. This will happen. It's like poetry, it cannot be stopped.
You do realize that you're going to have to fight 2 threats at the same time. A Fae in Chrysalis is vulnerable to chimerical threats, but on top of that, you have vampire threats. Wait, one, you may need another tool. You see the boot/trunk, if we're going to get American about this, car open. And you see Frobisher says, Zelda, you seem to have innate proficiency in firearms.
Yes, I was working on a lightning gun earlier, but unfortunately that disintegrated on me.
This doesn't have a Fey form. If mortals see you holding this, it's going to cause panic. So maybe don't brandish it around. Obviously, it is dark, so most people won't see it until they get close. But it may help. In the back is a pump-action shotgun.
Let's go.
And 5 rounds. These are the 5 best rounds that we have. They are called Dragon's Breath. They will pretty much exude, not fire, but hot, molten slag. It will deter vampires, but the sound of it could potentially attract more. Please be careful. Yes? There it is.
Storyteller, I seek your permission to make a narrative decision.
Go for it.
Can we say we are approaching Hampstead Heath through the east, the Highgate side?
Yeah.
And can I also say that when they damned Hampstead Brook, that they unknowingly fractured the entrance to a Fey node, and so they weren't just 8 reservoirs of water, they were reservoirs of like the dreaming. So we have some access to some pages.
I mean, so ironically, you kind of was almost going where I was almost going to say next. Is that Hampstead Heath used to have quite a few glades, but as like everything got built around it, quite a few of those glades shut offline. There is still glamour here in the ambient air. At the moment, it's not a lot. It would be very difficult to draw upon, but there's obviously some poor Fae who is currently going through Chrysalis, and when you're going through Chrysalis, you are literally, I mean, you're putting out so much glamour in concentrated form that it's actually possible for you to harvest it for yourself if you get close enough. But yes,
so as we approach by car, I'm going to just sort of mention to Zelda and Xenia that so the reason that Akshara is slightly more familiar with some of the parts of the Hampstead Heath is because Kenwood House, it's literally called Kenwood House. I mean, it's impossible not to bring it into the story, but used to be and probably still has in its basement a bunch of Slua lore keepers. So and lots of arcade texts. Obviously, the mortals only visit for the orangery but that's not what they visit Kenwood House for. So if we do need to be inside and take shelter, I know that there is a safe space for Fae somewhere on the heath if we can get there.
Okay.
Fantastic. So you've all got umbrellas, which should help deal with anything chimerical. Zelda's also now got a big shotgun with 5 rounds. For people who do know Vampire, it is the equivalent of full fire damage, and it can have the unexpected effect of causing vampires to frenzy, which is a double-edged sword if it goes the wrong way. You feel the Chrysalis coming very deep in Hampstead Heath. You get the sense it's got to be in some kind of clearing. Like you're getting an uninterrupted signal, so it's got to be somewhere open. It's not being obstructed by anything. As you go through approach the gates to go in proper with all of your equipment, there are 2 males sort of leaning up against the gates. As you get close, you can start to feel that choking slightly, as if banality is getting thicker. They're both wearing leather jackets, kind of looking almost like punk rockers. They're designed to look intimidating. And one of them calls out as you all try and get close to the gate. It's hey, whoa, no. Hampstead Heath's closed. It's late. It's nighttime. Shouldn't you all be in your little beds?
I show him some papers, which, since we're taking so much from this fandom already, which say essentially that we're so I, for my media studies course, have to shoot a mini documentary thing for school credit, and these are people I have hired to be on my crew, and I have permission to be here at this time.
They look at the papers, hand them back, and simply just sort of laugh. Just being that's cute. That is really cute. But yeah, no. This is us saying you're not being here. You see the one that isn't talking is just observing you. And it's giving you a bit of a perplexed look. As if they can't quite, they've not worked out what you are, but they're piecing it together. This is I'm looking at something that's acting like a mortal, but isn't a mortal. But they haven't quite put all the pieces together. But they know something isn't quite right. As I said, park's closed.
Can I don't exactly, because I don't know how this works, but is it possible if I want to roll for something, do I just tell you, can I roll for this, or do we have to role play it?
You can, if you have an idea for a roll, pitch at me.
Could I potentially use manipulation to
Don't open that.
because they don't need to trust me for me to do that. But yeah, so if I can just be like, please, I don't have time to go back to the university tomorrow and face my supervisor who's already so mad that I've left it to the last moment. Please, 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 please. I've already paid these people. They are not. Look, I already had to rebook them once because please, 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 please.
Give me then performance plus manipulation. I'm going to the difficulty is 6.
Okay. So I roll like the number of d10s that are.
Yeah.
Or do I just click on it?
So if you click on performance, it'll be a thing, a box. If you hit charisma, and then make sure difficulty 6, and then hit roll, that should do it for you. He says.
Oh, should I click charisma or manipulation?
So if you click on manipulation, no, sorry, Chris. Ignore me. I'm saying the wrong thing. If you click on performance, it opens the box, and then click on manipulation.
Okay, and then roll.
It should be manipulation. Yeah, manipulation plus charisma. So manipulation plus performance. Difficulty 6, then roll. 2 successes.
Yay.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the dice numbers, like, how's that 2? I can see 3. But I realised one of them's a 1, so 1 cancels out. If you roll a 1, it will remove a success. So it should have been 3 successes, but that's 2 successes. I mean, 2 successes is a success. You see him sigh. Fine, stay away from the western side. There's a gathering of, and then you see the other one like elbowing in the ribs. It's like there's just a group meeting going on, and we've been asked which doesn't get disturbed. So if you just want to stay on the eastern side of the heath and away from the western side, that'll be perfectly okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Like really channeling that student last minute assignment energy. So thank you.
They let you run through in the gate, and they kind of like close it behind you, and you swear you can hear it being locked. So
like that.
Unfortunately, it's not possible for you to stay on the eastern side of the heath because, unfortunately, the glamour is coming from the western side.
Gotcha.
But at least you're in the park now. But like just sensing banality out there, like you can like really feel it now. Like I don't think any of you have. Let me just see. Does anyone have it high enough that they would know on their own? Don't mind me. I'm just looking at. No, I don't think any of you. Xena may be able to. You can't quite, like, you're not attuned to banality enough to be able to sense there's 5 of them. You can just kind of vibe check an area. And you can kind of see that there's where that valve banality is starting to gather around it.
Xena resists the urge to make the sort of cat sick noises like this.
If we have to locate something, then folk from my house don't miss.
Which house was yours again?
I will learn how to say those.
No, that's fine. Uncanny sentences, particularly when it comes to nuances of enchanted world. Receive efficiency -1 with all canning rolls, -2 if they involve spelling, and cannot botch canning rolls.
Cannot involving locating, opening, or navigating.
Okay. So you can, it's weird because everyone can locate the Chrysalis. Like that's not from where you are, it's like someone like set a Glamour flare gun off. Like there's a ray of glamour shooting up into the sky. As for locating anyone else, unless they're giving off some kind of glamour, which vampires don't, you at least not yet. But you can get that sense of whatever it is, stuff is starting to go around it. Approach this.
This doesn't seem like something we're going to be able to do quietly or sneakily if they've already started gathering that area.
I'd be very happy to try and turn on the charm, so to speak. I can make myself quite appealing to creatures of all stripes.
Basically a goth as a mortal, so I think I should be okay.
I'll leave the talking to you two then, and if anything goes wrong, I guess I've got a gun.
Yeah, plan A talk, plan B gun.
Plan A kenning, plan B gunning.
You run towards this plume of glamour firing up from the ground. Things start to get a bit weird as you get closer. Like the first sign of the dreaming is pouring through is when you're running past and you see a Bengal tiger running in the opposite direction. And then that tiger suddenly sprouts wings and just goes up into the air. That's the first sign.
And you get umbrellas.
I mean, look, to that chimerical Bengal tiger, you're holding swords, not umbrellas. But everyone else is looking at umbrellas. It's not interested in you. It just seems to be happy that there's glamour around, and seems to be enjoying itself. But there is some signs that there might be more than just happy chimera here. There's what looks to be a five-foot-tall black cat, kind of it seems to be circling around the clearing that the Chrysalis is coming from. Completely unaware, well, no, not that they're aware of it, but the vampires who are standing in the trees watching this go down are completely unaware that behind them, going around, is a huge black cat. You can see now the woman who was going through Chrysalis. There is this kind of flickering as they flicker between their kind of uni student mortal self and their blonde blue hair pixie self, as their face soul is pushing out, and as it's doing that is sending all of this glamour skyrocketing into the air and around them. It explodes. Some of it creates doves, some of it creates dust. It's extremely unstable. What's worse is that as it's exploding, like, banality immediately grabs it and just mutes it. So what should be a rather large radius of glamour is slowly shrinking as banality is slowly moving towards it. The vampires getting closer probably aren't helping the situation. But the thing is, from their point of view, they're just seeing someone go kind of nuts, like waving their arms around, kind of letting out not screams, but like yelps. They can't see the glamour, they can't see the Fey self, they can't see the doves or the cat or the Bengal tiger. They can just see a mortal writhing around. And they're not stupid. That isn't normal. They know something's not right, but they can't quite figure out what's not right. Assuming I'm going to ask, do any of you want to intervene now?
I have an idea. I'm not sure if it would work. I'd like to kind of pitch it before going ahead.
Yeah.
So I have an art called Nickname, which we were discussing before the stream began, where I can give, because I have realms in Actor and Fae, I can give mortals or Fae a nickname, and then they have to abide by it. Does this apply to vampires?
Yes. Vampires technically, I suppose, count as actors because they're not Fae, but they are technically mortal.
Cool. Okay.
So you could give a vampire a nickname.
My idea would be to give a vampire the nickname Catnip and set the cat on them.
I love it.
Awesome. That is an idea.
Cool. I will convey that to my friends and see if, but not act on it yet.
I have a complementary idea. So I think that what we could potentially do. So I've been watching a lot of House. So I'm thinking that if this person looks like they are flailing and having a seizure, then potentially, because there is a decent chance that everybody looks older than me in the mortal form. So if Xenia, if you can be the actual doctor and I can be like the medical resident being like, okay, like learning, and you're like, do this thing, and like just put on some medical jargony thing to come in and like get within range of this being. And then when you like when one of the vampires approaches us to be like to try and stop us, presumably, then you can look up and be like, back away, catnip. You know what I mean?
Cool. I like it. Yes. Ooh, a bit of a I don't know, immersive theater going on. I like it.
Exactly. Plus, if they make us and they're like, what the hell are you doing? We could be like, we took an oath. The Hippocratic oath.
An oath of the
All right.
Hippocratic kind.
So we got two parts to the plan then. I got a third one to add to it, although this one's more like if things go badly. If they don't buy that, if they don't buy that act, and they start like making movements, I can at least protect the person going through Chrysalis a little bit. I've got an art, a little Skycraft art called Howling Gale. It basically makes wind. I can make it either target an individual person to speed them up or slow them down, or I can target a person or an object and make wind come out of that, making it difficult for other people to approach that object or person and move to it. So if they start like approaching the person, I can just make a storm around them so that they struggle to get near them, and it's as long as you're already near her, you can kind of like get her out of there. If you're far, then it's also going to affect you, and good luck with that.
I mean, that's a plan. Which one do we think we're going to go for?
I think I'm happy to start with the doctor plan and move from there.
Yeah, that's like our plan A. And everything else, if it goes wrong, okay, we do this.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, because obviously this is what matters right now. What's your doctor name?
Oh, Dr. Watson.
I love it. I'm going to be What's another language word for home that sounds
Now that I don't know.
Oh, I will Casa. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll be Dr. Casa.
Dr. Casa. Okay, right. So I'm glad you go with that. So doctor first, if not catnip, if not huge gust of wind. Okay. You go running in, the two of you, to like go help. As you like approach, Pisky can like see your face elves, and it's like, I can't stop it. it just keeps happening. So like see them swelling their arms around, and like as they keep like pointing their hands, like more glamour just explodes. It's like it won't slow down. I think it's supposed to slow down at some point.
It's all right. We're trained medical professionals. I'm Dr. Watson. I'm here to help you. This is my trusty assistant, Dr. Casa. We will sort this out and we will be here to help you through this. Don't worry.
There's this look of confusion on their face. And they kind of like whisper, like, "But I don't need medical help. I'm fine."
So I think instead of trying to explain things, I'm going to channel my innate fae poetry and be like, "There is not one amongst us who does not need help. Now hush your tones so that we may free you from this too close to mortal realm.
Fine. But what about them? At this point, you see one particular person like walk forward out of the tree line. They're dressed very similarly to the two guards at the gate. Leather jacket, white shirt, chain, like blackish hair that's all like scraggly, quite pale skinned. Wears combat boots, is holding a baseball bat. I think I finally figured it out. You're one of those. He says, like, holds the baseball bat out. One of those elf things.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Talk about being typecast.
I know.
I don't know the specifics. I've only heard. That explains the weird shit that I can feel.
Sir, we have a job to do. We took an oath. We are here to save a life. We are not here to be typecast and made assumptions about just because we like a certain kind of makeup and all of that kind of thing. Okay? So if you could kindly please back up and give us some space so we can treat this patient. Dr. Watson, I await your instruction.
I believe that we should try and isolate the patient from any prying eyes so that we can conduct a more thorough examination.
Yes, and all these contaminants, we must get them away from, and then like I sort of lean over to Dr. Watson, and I'm all like, they say like cc's of things and stat and stuff. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah. I need 5 cc's of statabropram.
At once, Dr. Watson. We must. But as everyone here will note, we are in essentially a park, so we should get this patient to somewhere where flam is available. Let's go. And like we make to help this being sort of up. And also, aren't they because of the Chrysalis like generating voile and like the
yeah. So
can we help them manipulate it to look more sickly, mortally?
So the problem with Verla is that only you can see it. It's essentially it's changeling clothing. So only Fae can see it. So at the moment, all the vampires can see is this mortal with their mortal clothes. They can't see any Fae clothes. Not that this guy like believes any of this. For a brief second, it's like
they're so believable.
This is the most legit performance ever.
You aren't going anywhere. Like I know for a fact that tremor for Babylon is not a thing. And you wouldn't ask for 5 cc of something, you'd ask for 50 cc. 5 cc isn't even an injection.
Excuse me. Do not go by what you have only seen on medical dramas, and we clearly know what we're talking about. You have been flummoxed by all this talk of what the NHS can do and cannot do. The NHS is way too overwhelmed to listen to this kind of nonsense. We are not paid enough. We are not given enough respect. And so what you will do, sir, is let us do our jobs. Did you go to medical school? Do you know what 5 cc's do and what 50 cc's do? We can't overwhelm a patient by giving them 50 cc's off the bat. Isn't that right, Dr. Watson? Didn't you write a paper on it very recently?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very well respected within the field, and I have many academic papers alongside my many years of practical research and my many years on the picket line campaigning for junior doctors' salaries.
Well, yes, exactly. If you are against us, then you are against unions. Are you somebody who wants to be against unions? I don't think so.
You look like an anti-establishment type. You should be for the uniting of the workers.
Exactly. Please.
I was just
pay no
going
heed
to say
to our
that
friend who is cracking up over there in the corner.
I don't believe anything you're saying. I was only going to ask one simple question, which is, what is the knee bone connected to?
There's no such thing as a knee bone. That's a children's song. Now let us continue with our work.
It's connected. Okay, so from if you are thinking of these medical shows and stuff, I believe you're thinking of a femur. Okay, femur. Now leave us alone.
Just get them.
Let us treat this.
Get them. I don't care how you do it. Just get them. We can feast on them later once we figure out what they are properly. Just surround them. I've had enough of this shit.
It's time for the.
Okay. Well, Catnip, you better watch out for claws.
There's 2 things you need to do.
Okay.
So, problem 1 is that even if you called one of these vampires Catnip, the cat is chimerical. It will not affect a physical item. Because the problem you have is that it's a bit like, since we're going by Doctor Who references here, they're a bit like, chimerical beings are a bit like weeping angels. If someone is looking at it, it can't exist. But if everyone's not looking at it, then it does exist. However, you do have the ability to temporarily remove the mists and make all of these vampires see the chimerical world. That would make that cat very real. They'd also probably all have a panic attack because all of a sudden there's a ginormous cat running around the place. So you'd have to basically, to do it, you'd have to invoke the wide word, which would make everything visible. So they would see the Chrysalis, they would see your Fey forms, but then they'd also see all the things that are being made by Chimera and would be affected by it as if it was real. Then you give one of them the name Catnip, and one vampire is going to be very, very cat mauled. So
I don't see how this could go wrong.
I think it makes complete sense.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to invoke, let me double check the rules. Invoking I will know word requires expenditure of 1 point of glamour and 1 point of willpower. The player then rolls the character's glamour against the difficulty of the area's ambient banality, or the character's banality, whichever is higher. On a success, the character invokes a word for the duration of the scene. A failure on this roll triggers banality. So, the character, it could go wrong. The character has more control over his or her destiny. If a player doesn't that from a roll, she can spend a point of damage to roll the dice. Glamour refuses every action the changing makes. This means
so what I heard was, you're going to tell me where to click, I'm going to click. And then
so
stuff's going to happen.
Stuff is going to happen. So, What we'll say is, okay, who wants to invoke it? That's
I'm very happy to.
All right, you got this then.
okay. So
I'll take the
Sure,
fall if
what
it goes
then?
bad.
okay. So what you need to do is you need to click on the.
Do I need to reduce my
So
permanent or temporary?
temporary.
Glamour?
You spend temporary points.
Cool.
And then you spend one of the willpower and one of the glamour, and then press the glamour button on
Yep.
your sheet. It should then give you a pop-up. This is a difficulty 4 area. It's not too difficult. Hampstead Heath isn't ridiculously banal because, well, of all the old glades here, it's kind of one of the few places that isn't full banal. So you can press 4, then hit roll.
Okay.
2 successes. Should have been 3, but 1 got cancelled out.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, you... kind of focus for a moment and lift the veil that like you temporarily like banish banality, and the act of doing so reveals the chimerical world to these like 6 or 7 vampires who are currently either confused or panicked. Like, yes, they can now see all of you in your Fey forms. Yes, they can see that ginormous plume of glamour. You see the guy holding the baseball bat was like, "Ha! I was right. I knew there was something weird about you lot." But they can also see this ginormous black cat. And there's kind of a moment where it's like, we can take, like, how do you bite this? How do you deal with this? There's a holy shit moment. So they're confused enough that they're not going to immediately react or do an immediate action. So if you like, you can cast nickname on one of them.
Cool. Yeah, I'll yell out, "Oh, what's the matter, Catnip? Do you not like being irresistible?"
Who are you going to aim it at?
The one that's been bothering us.
The baseball
Just
bat one.
to make an example of them.
In which case, then give me your if you go to your arts, click on nickname, select actor as the realm. By default, it's difficulty 7 by default. You can do shift to nightmare dice from 1 to 3. That'll lower the difficulty. So you're rolling 4. I think it's 4 dice, isn't it? Yeah, 2 plus 2.
Yeah.
Just whether you think out of those 4, one of them will be a 7.
Okay. I really want this to work. I think, I'm gonna. So, how does nightmare dice work?
Off the top of my head, you're okay unless you botch a nightmare dice roll. Then I believe you take on additional nightmare. Off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's one of the more complex rules. It will tell us if something goes wrong.
Okay. So I'll just click. I'll do 1 nightmare.
Yeah, okay. Do 1 nightmare. I should lower the difficulty to 6 automatically.
Yes, that's done it. Okay, let's give this a try.
It's 2 successes. So for the rest of the day, so for one whole day, this This vampire has the nickname Catnip. Anyone, including mortals, who now reference him, just kind of know Catnip. This is going to manifest itself in numerous ways. The first one is, yes, this big cat is going to very much notice this, but also every cat for the next day is going to notice this, and is going to be instinctively attracted to this vampire. You watch as this big black cat just kind of like runs across the glade, and just like pats it down with his paw, and just starts like rolling around while occasionally clawing at this vampire. The cat is going to make a bite attack against the vampire, which works. That's going to cause 1 track of damage. Oh, screw it. They can take a second one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one works as well. So they've taken 2 damage to their health track. Vampires only have 4 on their health track by default, especially this kind of vampire. And you sort of see this guy like yell and be like, "No, ow, bad, ow, bad, ow, ow, stop, ow! Like this is demeaning. Like someone, like anyone, like help." He's also like swinging his bat at this cat, but like can't hit it enough. The remaining vampires are going to want to attack. But as they come forward, there's like a cough coming from behind you all. You didn't even notice it, Zelda. But someone walks directly from behind you. They are wearing a beanie to like disguise their hair, and are wearing a kind of like oh, go away, little Midge. Go away. They're wearing a white tank top, like ripped cut jeans with combat boots, very androgynous. Very difficult to make out who they are. They kind of like walk past you. And it's like, enough games. Tell your cat thing to put Asta down. He's an idiot. I would say he deserves the mauling, but I do kind of need him undead.
Sorry, the effect lasts a whole day. I don't think I can stop it. This isn't my cat. This is just a cat that was around.
No, I am very aware that this is a chimerical experience. Just stop invoking, and the cat will disappear, and it won't affect him.
All right, fine. Wait, hang on a minute. Not fine. Why should I listen to you?
I feel like this cat should probably drag a couple of you to its litter box.
Okay. How do I put this politely? I know what you...
Neither do you.
I know what you are, and I know what you're capable of. You are Fae, and that's very nice of you. But I also know that when this little invoke stops, you're very vulnerable. I also happen to know you don't like a thing called cold iron, and that would cause some very big problems if you were to suddenly encounter it. Now, I'm
I
not
don't-
here to cause trouble. It
No,
is
you
to
seem super friendly.
I'm not friendly. I'm not here to be friendly. I'm here to resolve something before either you lot all die and I and my gang then has to deal with a crippling changeling blood addiction, which in today's circumstances is not a very good addiction to have given the very limited supply. So it's within my interests that you don't get eaten.
So we're not all here for the Hampstead at night experience that I booked. I'm not going to be giving this more than 3 stones, by the way. I mean, yes, the pale makeup is a commitment, I suppose, but it's not giving
Oh my gosh.
amateur.
Asta,
Also,
I thought I told you to cancel that. It was a terrible cover plan. And if it was a cover plan, why did you put it on the internet? It wasn't supposed to be general admission.
Oh my gosh.
by your own admission, we got in through general admission. So we're clearly not the people that you are looking to threaten in whatever
No,
MFA winning performance this is.
no,
But
no.
we really should go because
Yeah, look, I'm going to be polite here. You are not where you're supposed to be. This is not your turf. Other vampires would probably be like, hey, let's just drain them. I am not in the mood for that. I just want you gone. And in exchange for you going away, I won't tell my leader that you are essentially breaking an agreement by being here. I will just pretend this never happened.
So sorry, just to clarify, we're currently visible on our Fae forms.
Yes.
Still, right?
Yes.
Okay.
While Xena is like revoking the autumn around them, your Fae forms are visible. They know. Everyone here knows your changelings. This one person in particular knows an awful lot about changelings, or at least more than the average vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Also, nice shotgun. You see, they like open their hand and they have all 5 dragon breath rounds in their hand. And you just sort of see them crush their hand and the powder just turn to dust.
Don't like that.
That
All
would
right,
have been very, very nasty and a very big mistake if you'd have fired one of those off. I'm just protecting you at this point.
I'm very grateful for that. Just think about it from our perspective. We've got one of our own having some trouble.
Yeah, I can see that.
In the middle of vampire territory, we got to bring protection. We got to make sure that we aren't eaten, and we got to get them out safely. And when your buddies came up, threatened to drink us, I was just like, well, got to defend myself in the best way I know how.
No. I don't doubt any of that. I am not disputing any of it. Aster is an idiot and will always be an idiot. And he keeps causing me problems. Like revealing information he shouldn't to people. And you can just sort of hear Aster go, it's not my fault she used her powers on me. And it's like, well, that's why we don't put ourselves in positions where they can use their powers on us. Right? And you sort of see them hold their hand up as if like, don't cancel the power just yet. You sort of see them walk over to the cat and go, catnip might actually be a better name for you, Aster. Now, I never gave implicit orders for you to start attacking Fae, even if they are on our turf. So I don't know where you got that idea from. I took it upon myself to I took it upon myself to do that. I thought I thought you weren't going to be around for a while. Remember the whole I'm a leader and I need to go investigate something? Like, hold the fort for me, Esther, while I'm gone. You know, be the man, be the big leader. And you sort of see this person go, I asked you to hold the fort. I didn't ask you to be a leader. I explicitly said not to be a leader because you're a bumbling buffoon.
So,
okay, look, just call off the cat.
Can we get assurances that we can take our friend away from here, Terrace? Just to double check. I just don't want it to be.
No. None of these idiots will even attempt to follow you. Otherwise, I will pull out their necks myself.
Excellent. And if you need a marriage counselor, I might know someone.
No, it's fine. I'm just considering leaving someone out in the sunlight.
Cool. Okay.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I hope your issues get resolved, and thank you for your understanding. And we will leave you to your Dracula nonsense. Goodbye.
Before you run off, why are you back?
We don't have to tell you that.
No, you don't. I was just genuinely curious. Just, if upper leadership gets the idea that you're back, it may cause problems.
Well, we're just visiting.
You each have our own personal matters to attend to. Nothing to concern yourself with.
If either of you want to give me a perception and I forget the skills are different to the vampire ones, so I've got ones that aren't here before. It's like, you can do perception investigation or perception and etiquette. Either will do, depending on which one's your stronger combination. The difficulty
for me.
The difficulty is 5.
Okay.
Perception and investigation on my end. Let's do this. Yeah.
Zelda is Zelda is too busy still trying to figure out how they got the shotgun shells. Specifically, how they got the one loaded in the shotgun.
That's the one I have questions about.
Don't mess with someone who's got celerity 5. But Xena got 5 successes.
Neat.
This vampire is being overly truthful. They are like there's a look on their face like, I really should report you. I'm already in enough shit as is with management. But I don't think the telling off I'm going to, like, I'm going to get told off regardless of, like, if I tell management, I'm going to get shouted at. If I don't tell management, I'm going to get shouted at. Like, it maybe statistically it's better for me to try and cover this up. But there's definitely a look on their face of, like, I tried to cover something else up and that didn't work. But also, you are a lot of nonsense. And I don't want to deal with this crap.
Yeah, I'm going to say, listen, I can tell that you're under a lot of stress and strain at the moment, and I do not want to add to that. You've been very considerate of us, and essentially, I will do my best not to be apparently changeling in your vicinity for as long as I possibly can.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's not me you've got to worry about. It's the other lot. But it's fine. I'm sure if you do your only visiting nonsense and you don't appear on their radar in any way, I'm sure you'll be perfectly fine. Now, take your clearly exploding buddy there and get out of my sight.
Yep, will do. Pleasure doing business with you. I'll snap my fingers or whatever gesture does to remove the invocation.
Yeah, you remove the invocation, like everything disappears to them. You go back to your mortal forms in their eyes. And the cat stops attacking Asta, who still looks bruised. That damage is still there. Vampires don't have a chimerical form to take chimerical damage. So they take lethal damage. Well, they take physical damage. You run off back the way you came, Ashka in tow with the this woman who's now stopped. Like the Chrysalis has calmed down. They're no longer exploding. Exploding glamour everywhere. Both of you give me, as you're running away, give me a perception alertness.
Perception and alertness. Aight.
Yeah. So if you click alertness and then...
And the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be 4. It's not too hidden, but it's hidden enough that if you didn't know what you were looking for... Oh, okay. Easy. 1 success versus 4. Okay. For Zelda's probably the one to notice it first and notice it better. You are running along one of the lakes of Hampstead Heath. And as you do, both of you notice a glint in the water near the shallow end. It looks like reflected light. For Zelda, you can see the item a bit clearer. There's 2 things you notice. The first is that there's a glint in the water. Then you see the item, and it's like you see it. Whatever this item is, it's reflective. So it's reflecting light back at you. It's not generating light, it's reflecting light. It's got that like glint. If you move your body, like the reflection kind of moves with you slightly. On top of that, you can see with your perception and alertness with 4 successes that, well, it's not obvious to mortals, but with your Fey senses, there's a lot of bodies in this lake. This is being used as a dumping ground for something. You don't quite know quite what, but in the very deep side of this lake, there's what looks like the shadows of what was people. But this explicit shiny object, if you like, on the bank of this lake, it's not too difficult to get to if you want to pick it up. You wouldn't have to like jump in and swim. You would have to get your legs wet to wade in and get it. But there is something reflective there, and there is a hint of glamour coming from it.
Seeing that, knowing if there's just a bit of any glamour whatsoever, and being sure that we really shouldn't come back here anytime soon, I'm gonna try and go and get it, because what other time will I have this chance?
You wade into this water. Lean down, pick up this item. It's a hand mirror. It's neat. Got like a Roman column almost as the handle. Kind of like very circular. It reeks of glamour. Now that you're holding it, you also feel a lot more powerful as you hold this mirror, as you like hold it and look. But as you focus and look at the mirror, you begin to kind of feel other energy. You're not sure what you're detecting, but you feel like as you like look at the mirror and like twist it around, it's almost like what I can only describe it as Zelda would describe it as like a radar ping. Like as you move it around, you can ping off two other things in London. One of them is static and not moving. The other one does appear to be moving. You don't know what it is, but something is pinging off. But this mirror feels right in your hands. You're probably going to have to examine it more at the workshop to figure out what it is or what it can do. But it is calling to you. You do look very nice in the mirror, though. What's interesting is you don't see your mortal self when you look in this mirror. You see your Fey self, which would make sense given that it's a glamour-infused mirror. Although probably clean some of the mud off first. But that is where we're going to leave our little group for the night. I hope everyone has had fun. I wanted to get one thing in before we left, just because I know what I've just done. There's a vampire crew probably getting a little panicked right now, going, "Oh shit! I think he's just set them on us," which is I'm quite proud of that. But anyway, we will be back next Saturday with more Changeling. definitely, if you're enjoying this, tune in on Thursday for our vampire game, because that is going to interact with our changing game a little bit. Let's just say they spent an episode last week talking about mirrors and why they might be different, why holding on to them might not be a good thing, or why collecting them might not be a good thing. But we'll be back next Saturday. We also have Dee's Digimon campaign finale tomorrow, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. BST, 3 p.m. CEST. That's the right time zone. Where we're wrapping up the finale. I can't wait to see how it all goes on. Aside from that, I hope you've both had fun.
Absolutely, yes.
And
That
I
was a
can't
great
wait to
time.
cause more chaos. I can't wait for this lovely universe of ours to collide. There are certain characters from both campaigns I would love to see interact. I personally, behind the screen, would love to see Frobisher and Leto interact. Two very mad people interacting with each other, but that's just me. Anyway, we will see you all next time. Apologies for the slight overrun. And yeah, we'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Goodbye.